Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. The Liberals have unveiled plans for more police officers and a youth crime task force to combat the problem across Tasmania. But it's been met with concern, the Greens calling for a preventative approach to the issue. Energy and forestry also on today's agenda.
60 more police officers on Tasmanian streets and a strike force to tackle youth crime, the latest addition to the Liberals' 2030 strong plan.
I hear very loud and clear the challenges, the concerns of repeat offenders and particularly the challenges of youth crime.
Moona shop owners hoping it makes the main shopping strip safer.
Rubbish bins being lit on fire. I've had youths on the roof of my store.
It includes tougher ramifications for anyone who posts and boasts about their crimes online. But the strike force has been met with concerns that it goes against the Commission of Inquiry's recommendations, the Greens labelling it Trumpism.
People have been crying out for more preventative, more therapeutic, more interventionist type approaches to youth crime.
We're working continuously towards delivering the Commission of Inquiry recommendations, but that also needs to go hand in hand with keeping our community safe.
The Greens also taking aim at a Liberal forestry commitment to extend all existing native wood supply contracts for 14 sawmillers to 2040 instead of 2027.
That's a big step up in terms of certainty and in terms of supply for our industry.
It's a hit to our species and it's a hit to climate change. This is utterly desperate politics by the Liberal government.
Labor was boasting its Tasmania First energy policy package, gathering stakeholders which it says would benefit from it.
Understanding that working with Labor, we can start to turn things around for Tasmania when it comes to delivering a Tasmanian price for Tasmanian power and also growing our economy.
167 candidates have been nominated to contest this year's state election, the largest contingent in the House of Assembly's history. Tasmanians will be tasked with selecting 7 MPs per electorate, restoring the lower house to 35 members. The Bass Division has 32 candidates on offer, 33 for Braddon, Franklin 31, and the most in the Lions Division. Running independents also present at the TEC office in Moona, some calling for better communication.
There's not enough talking between the parties, between the candidates. We just act as if we're in World War III all the time.
As the battle to win over Tasmanian voters continues. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
4 teenagers have been injured after a trail bike and a car collided on Lamprell Circle in Herdsman's Cove early last night. A 13-year-old remained in the Royal Hobart Hospital today, while the others were treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
Family members may have attended the scene. Police assisted with first aid and just general control. Obviously it was a confronting scene for emergency service members and also, I guess, your family and friends.
Police confirming an investigation into how the incident happened will continue over the next few weeks. Anyone who witnessed the crash or who has CCTV is urged to contact authorities. A group of beleaguered harness trainers had a date with the Supreme Court today. Melbourne lawyer Damien Shields appeared on behalf of Ben and Tim Yole and Nathan and Mitchell Ford, previously barred from TasRacing's tracks following the Murray report. Justice Pearce has prohibited TasRacing from issuing any more ban notices until their hearing on March 21. CEO Andrew Jenkins says he will encourage the Director of Racing to consider his powers under the Act to address the serious issues raised in the report. A total fire ban has been declared for the southern region of Tasmania from early Sunday morning until 2 a.m. on Monday. Tasmania's fire service says the ban means it is illegal to light or cause a fire in the open, including campfires and wood-fuelled barbecues.
It's going to be cooler, but we have a really dry landscape. We have fires that are burning. We've also, 2 days ago, just had a major lightning strike across the state.
The Bureau of Meteorology says strong wind gusts are also expected.
We could see some damaging gusts in excess of 100 kilometres per hour across parts of eastern, southeastern and northwestern Tasmania.
Residents are reminded to check their bushfire plans. Hobart is bucking a national trend as the only capital city to record a drop in house prices last month. The latest PropTrack report revealing prices fell by 0.12% in February, marking the largest decline across all markets. Elsewhere, prices held steady across regional Tasmania, rising by just 0.01%. Local sporting clubs say Tasmania is missing out on national opportunities due to what they say is an outdated precinct in the south. The City of Hobart now using the election to sway politicians into helping fund its $60 million master plan.
More than 100 years old, Newtown Sports Precinct is showing its age, from its cycling track.
There are some issues with heritage trees, and there needs to be some longer term solutions with the track surface being damaged by roots.
To the netball courts.
Since 2019 we've had about a 35% increase in junior participation, and that's placed enormous pressure on all of our courts. We've had to find courts external to this facility.
And basic amenities.
There's one set of change room facilities. It's very hard to have back-to-back games.
Accommodating 300,000 athletes each year, clubs say the wear and tear is affecting opportunities.
We've had, unfortunately, some national coaches not send their athletes to some of our events as a result of our facilities.
The solution, $60 million worth of renovations drawn up by the Hobart City Council. On the table, 3 new netball courts, refurbished toilets and change rooms, and better parking. But the pricey plan can only go ahead if the state government chips in.
Last election, $1 million was dedicated towards part of the upgrade, so that was very welcome, but $1 million is really a drop in the ocean.
While the council would help cover some of the project's costs, it says most of its budget goes toward the maintenance of existing assets. Whether the Clark candidates play ball is now a waiting game. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
With footy season almost upon us, the Hawks are in Tasmania for their final pre-season hit-out at UTAS Stadium. Warming up this morning with a far tougher challenge, running training sessions with dozens of excited primary school students.
An important pre-season test awaits Hawthorn tomorrow night, although it's unlikely the Bulldogs will be nearly as tough as the West Launceston primary students.
We got told that we haven't won enough recently, so that's always fun to hear.
Autographs, the early highlight, but even that excitement was eclipsed when the footies came out. What's been the best part so far?
I reckon this morning when we played a game, it was like where there was 5 people with a bib on and we had to try and tag them with the football. Just like practicing kicking and all that stuff.
Do you play at the moment?
No, I'm going to get into it next year.
The next generation absorbing words of wisdom from the pros.
Just going to drop it, 2 hands. Basic handballs, a bit of kicking, little semi-dummy tackling. A few of them said they like rugby, so they like tackling, so the physicality must be a sign.
Although the Bulldogs are also in town, these kids have made their choice.
I just went Hawthorn because they looked more experienced and just better.
It's certainly been a good opportunity for our kids, seeing some of the Hawks players.
Have you seen such universal excitement for PE?
No, not for a while. These kids have grown up with the Hawks almost, so yeah, there's certainly a big supporter base for the Hawks in our school.
And while not everyone's draped in brown and gold,
I'm more go for the Brisbane Lions.
This is clearly the Hawks' nest. Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
At the other end, retired footy heroes are dusting off their boots and testing their fitness ahead of this year's Reli the Rivalry. Now preparing for its 11th edition, the charity match is on the move, making its way up the Midlands and back into the regions.
Recognising a community which lives and breathes football, Georgetown picked as this year's host for the Reli the Rivalry game.
So this is a beautiful facility and an absolute football crazy community, so we're just absolutely thrilled.
The state's only charity match is heading back into the regions, celebrating the heart of the game.
Keen to take it back out to a grassroots area
and obviously the North East is a wonderful football area.
Georgetown has produced a lot of very good footballers over the years, and this is where it starts. So for our young people to be able to see the legends and the people that they look up to and admire. And
former Premier Peter Gutwin and homegrown hero Luke Crane are among the Tassie stars already locked in to lace up their boots, joining the list of legends lending their name and their time.
Good guys from the local area, but also we'll have some prominent names from AFL, VFL days as well.
While there's no doubt the rivalry will heat back up on October 5th, the two sides will be playing for more than just bragging rights, raising vital funds for Food Bank Tasmania.
We sponsor their breakfast and schools program that looks after 2,500 kids daily statewide.
Playing for and from the heart. Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
Mona Foma's Summer Festival wraps up this weekend with a one-day extravaganza at the Cataract Gorge. Legendary band Tism leading the lineup, along with a special guest from the Northern Territory.
It's been a fixture on the Tasmanian arts calendar since its launch in 2008. The festival is now talked about worldwide. Curated by artistic director Brian Ritchie, an American who played bass with the alternative rock band Violent Femmes in a previous life. Ritchie today joined by Launceston's mayor at Cataract Gorge, the venue for the final instalment of the summer program, winding up with a thrilling crescendo of musical talents.
Of course, everybody's talking about Tism. Tism means this is serious, Mom. And they have only played 3 shows in the last 2 decades, and we are the 4th.
Special guests, teenage glam rockers from NT Mulga Boar Hard Rock will also hit the stage.
It's a hard rock band of Aboriginal musicians from the desert, and I was actually in the studio with them yesterday at Frying Pan Studios in Mona, and I helped them out on their track. So I predict success for them, maybe another hit record. Like every one of my records is a hit.
Ritchie describing the Gorge as a spiritual place. The mayor pleased Launceston is playing host.
We're absolutely stoked to have the Gorge once again to be resonating, to be vibrant, to be pushing that music through what has sat here for thousands of years.
While the peacocks and others may have been enjoying its tranquility today, tomorrow it will reverberate with sound. Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
Rotary Tasmania is ready to welcome in the public this weekend for its expo at Princess Wharf No. 1 shed in Hobart. The event hoping to attract thousands, with 30 displays to be set up where attendees can find out about what Rotary does and the youth programs they offer. The organisation has been part of the Tasmanian community for 99 years.
Marcus Lee is receiving treatment for a pinched nerve in his neck after leaving the court in the opening seconds of the Jackies' win over the Hawks on Wednesday night. The club says he's a day-by-day prospect in the lead up to the first playoff in Perth. It's not yet clear whether the centre will be cleared to play. Tasmania has a good lead on Victoria after day 1 of the top-of-the-table Shield clash. Jake Doran leading Tassie's low-scoring innings with a 47-run knock. The Tigers all out for 240. Tasmania has been sending a constant stream of Victorians back to the stands all afternoon. In his first over, Bo Webster had taken 2 for none.
Webster's got a second in the over. Short has to go. Victoria in a lot of strife here at 4 for 52.
Victoria is trailing by 159 runs, 7 for 81 at stumps. The Hawks have just wrapped up their captain's run at UTAS Stadium before their last pre-season hit-out against the Bulldogs tomorrow night. The Dogs got the better of them in last week's simulated match, but the Launceston game is a brand new affair with a boosted lineup despite Hawthorn's injury woes.
Test a few things out last week and then test a few things out this week and more of a with a stronger team and against their stronger team as well. It definitely just feels like a second home ground here, and hopefully for the next few years we can definitely keep that going.
The Dogs are also on their way into town. North Launceston draftee Riley Sanders likely to get his first run on home turf in Bulldogs colours. He's been named in the squad.
Good evening. Hobart, Launceston and Burnie all 24 degrees today. Devonport a top of 22.
The high was 26 at Friendly Beaches, with most temperatures in the mid to low 20s. However, Lyawini ranged from just 1 overnight to a high of 17 this afternoon. Some low-level cloud moved over the west today and parts of the south of Tasmania. Not much rain in that, just 5 millimetres at Timshay and Mount Reid to 4 p.m. Scattered storms over many parts of Australia, including the tropics. Mid-level cloud over coastal South Australia as well. Tomorrow, a high-pressure ridge over the Bight slides over most of the nation's southern coastline. A trough runs along the WA coast, with another running east to northern New South Wales. West to southwest winds 15 to 30 knots, but up to 40 knots over southern waters, with swells there to 5.5 metres. A gale warning has been issued for waters between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point. We also have a strong wind warning that's between Low Rocky Point and Sandy Cape, and from Stanley to Tasman Island. The weekend shapes up fairly dry again. Partly cloudy for Hobart 20, 15 for Medina, a shower there, 60% chance, 17 the top for Oatlands. Launceston a high of 23 and mostly sunny, Devonport 22, a shower or two for Lyawini, a cold day and 13 degrees. For Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy and 20, 17 for Strawn, cloudy for Marrawar, 18 degrees. And along the east coast tomorrow, it'll be fine and mostly sunny. St Helens 21 along with Swansea, 20 the top for Orford. On Sunday, the wind's picking up a bit, but fine and partly cloudy for most of us. Temperatures still under pressure to break 20 on Monday, but another dry day. And on Tuesday, a sunny 25 in Swansea with fine partly cloudy weather for the entire state. A possible shower in Perth, partly cloudy and 27 in Adelaide. A cooler day tomorrow with a shower in Melbourne. Showers as well for Canberra and Sydney, but a sunny 33 in Brisbane. Bit of cloud about, but fine in Hobart, 19 at the moment, 20 in Launceston, 20 right now in Devonport. Keep in mind too that total fire band in the southern part of Tasmania, Kim. We must be vigilant with this dry weather.